just make sure we are doing it right. Yeah. All right. Hi, subscribers. I made a beat. I thought it was pretty good, and I want to show you just how I did it. All right. I used a sample before. I used it as the intro track for my cookie dough project. I didn't really flip it. I mean, I kind of did, but I was using the drums. I guess it was just a pure sample flip because I literally was just chopping segments, putting them next to each other, and that was that. But today I'm going to do something a little different by request of someone that I'm working with. He wanted me to flip this, and so I'm gonna again, or I did again. This is the sample, Price of Love by Reverend Harvey Gates.
Price of love, heartaches and
There it is. Pretty fire, pretty fire. I'm also going to use this drum break from Mulate. Man, yeah, I know it's blasphemy as a producer to not use your own drums, but when it works, it works. So fire pack on TrackLib. I'll probably wind up using every single one of these breaks at some point in my life, but today we're using this one. Wonderful. All right. So I brought them into the project here. I named it Steve Harvey's Mustache. I don't know. Harvey was on my mind. Here's a sample. Already played it. Don't know why I'm playing again. So instead of using like the bass loop, I split the stems, which means I took the piano, the bass, the drums, and vocals, put them all into separate tracks. New Logic, nice and nifty and very useful. So we have the stems here. It's going to sound exactly the same because it's the stems and I didn't take anything out.
price of love.
But what I am going to do is not use the drums, as I said. We have that other drum break that we're going to use. Also going to take out the bass. We're just left with our piano and vocals. I put these each into a sampler. I have the piano chop here. I have the vocal chop here. And yeah, we're gonna let these rip. Have a couple loops. This will be like the chorus loop, where I put the vocals and the piano together. For the verse, I just used the piano, but not this loop.
Love, heartache, and love, heartache, and said if you said if you say.
So it's cool and all. By the way, none of this stuff is mixed yet, or it is mixed, but I'm not showing you the mix because I'm going to show you the mix later on. What it sounds like dry and what it sounds like really fattened up. I'm also going to boost the varispeed to 62%. Another thing that they say producers shouldn't do is lean on varispeed. What it does is it speeds up the whole project and also brings up the pitch relative to how fast it's playing. So that's going to be like this. I imported the drums and also made another loop. I'll explain why I put the two loops on different tracks a little bit when I get into the mixing. But here's the drums. This will be like the verse section. So that was pretty cool. Just kind of worked out that I could play a couple phrases backwards, not reversed, but backwards, and kind of make my own melody there. I was kind of just goofing around, and I was like, damn, sounds pretty hot. We'll go on to the chorus section, as I showed you the chop before. Gonna put the drums in there now. Also, the 808 is probably gonna be kind of hard to hear. On the final mix, I do boost it quite a bit, but this is unmixed, unleveled. It's just actually I'm gonna solo it so you can hear it more for when a beat drops. So that's the backbone. I'm gonna get to the mix in a little bit. We'll take it all the way back to the start. Serato Hex FX. It's goated. It's a goated plugin. It's like $100. It has a ton of good presets for making different soundscapes. This is a obviously sample like simulator. This vinyl sim here is so nice. Gives a nice dust sound on top. Also a little bit of warp, just like really emulates that old school, record player vibe. Also, I threw on this, which I believe is it's just a little spread, a little saturation, just to make it sound a little more full and bright, because the sample isolator does make it sound like super lo-fi. And I like that like dusty sound it brings, but to still make it sound full, I put on another Serato preset. I did the same for the vocal chop. I actually, this time, to give it a little more space, I put a tremolo. So what I do for a lot of my vocal chops is I'll use this preset or something similar. I mean, like isotope vinyl, for example. Just something to make the sample sound like it's being played on, a beat up record player. And then I'll add tremolo or, some sort of panning to really just give it life, give it a little more breath, and it'll just kind of go back and forth. Subtly, though. It's not like super dramatic or anything, but yeah. And this is what it sounds like now mixed. A little dust on top. Now we're going to move on to the drums. Another Serato, surprise, surprise, and a channel EQ. This is all drum drive. It's so easy. I mean, let me solo this. It's just so easy. Like, I'll show you the difference between no drum drive and all drum drive. So this is clean. I mean, the mix on these drums to begin with is fire and fine, but without. So that is the mix on the drums. I said I'd get back to this. It's really nothing crazy. I just I use the same two Serato plugins that I did for the other piano chop, and this time I put a compressor on, side chained it to the drums, so whenever the kick hits, the sample falls underneath the kick, and the drums are always at the forefront. I literally changed nothing on the compressor, I don't think, other than the frequency at which it compresses. So this will just give it a little bit more breath and allows the drums to be at the forefront, which when you're making a hard beat like this, it's what you want. yeah, so now we move on to the 808. This is the last element that I actually added when I was making the beat. Throwing on a saturator on Serato here, channel EQ on a boost like the low mids. It stays out of the way of the kick drum, but also like still maintains like a bellowing feel, which is what I want here. I want like really subby, kind of in the background, but still like, making your stomach churn. Like if you've ever been at a rap concert and you just are right in front of the speakers, you're just like eating the bass. This mix kind of still provides that. I also like super boosted the gain, which is gonna kind of cancel out when I master it. But I have the gain to plus 14 decibels, and then I also sidechained it to the kick drum to keep the drums at the forefront of the mix. Move on to the mastering. I just used the mastering assistant on Logic and tweaked the loudness a little bit to get my levels right. And the Serato is really nothing except for like one moment at the beat drop here. It's like a bit of a DJ moment. It doesn't change the mix at all. It just changes the pattern. So I'll just run it from the top then. Also show the little DJ scratch in the beginning here. That's all that was for. And so it runs off to oblivion. That's it. Thanks for watching.